Everybody, this is Dr. Joe Borio, this week's weekly Thought Flash. I'm here in Connecticut, the Connecticut Association Council on Chiropractic. Some great speakers. My son Vito is the cameraman. He's doing great. He introduced us with my son Joey, and I'm standing here with a pretty famous guy right here. Why don't you tell us who you are and what you do and why we should be interested?
I like that, man.
Why we should be interested in you, because we should be interested.
You know why we're interested is we're on a warpath to bring principal chiropractic to this profession. And for those of you who haven't heard of Band of Brothers, it's become an international group. No strings attached, no dues. No one makes money off of it, but it's chiropractors getting together, jamming on the principle, meeting up around the country and the world to help each other out. Sacrifice our own time and space to help people succeed so we can serve more people, and doing venues like this, you know, it's like I got to meet you and you're fired up, and right away you can tell we're on the same page with things, and now we're going to connect you with more people. And we got the Band of Brothers website where guys can go to, where we do Tuesday night talks, which we're going to have to get you on, and there's a whole list of talks there that people can listen to for free. I think you've seen that site.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, so it's really just about, we're not taking chiropractic back, we've got it back.
Right.
You know, we got young warriors that are just fired up for the principle and building volume practices to serve more people out of our own abundance, and it's awesome.
What's your website? What is the website? If I want to go to see you guys, learn more about who you guys are, what's the website?
ChiroBandofBrothers.com.
All right, so all one word, ChiroBandofBrothers.com.
Yeah.
And Band of Brothers started how? You were telling me a little bit how you guys originated. Where did it come from?
Dick Santo gave a talk at DE, and there was only about 20 of us there, and it was calling us out that we got to be brothers in arms, side by side, taking care of each other. And you can listen to it on that website. And I went back to Connecticut, got a couple buddies together, and we just started jamming and getting together and breaking down the principle and the philosophy, and it just started to grow. More people started coming together. And then Brian Lieberman in Georgia got a group going in Georgia where they meet every Monday. And then Dan and Beckshire, Eddie Martinez in South Florida, and Drew Henderson got another group in Georgia. Now we got Pete Amager in Canada. So Johnny Balsamo and Andy Forelli and Drobin in New York and Smats, they're all getting together every Monday or every other Monday, and we just sit and break down the principle, talk about the green books, talk about interactions in practice. We get into our own personal lives and how we can be better people, and bringing the principle together in our entire life in the core of our being, so we can be better human beings, better chiropractors, better lovers, better friends.
Yeah.
You know, with the principle. This principle is just freaking awesome.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And then the Band of Brothers is kind of like a philosophy mastermind. Is that fair
Absolutely.
to say that?
Yeah.
And it kind of simulates some of the other groups, right? Because you've got EPOC, you've got CORE. Is it similar to that? Is there something unique or different?
I don't know what they do.
Okay.
I've heard of them. I don't know any guys. Someone mentioned about me coming out to, I think it's California, to speak at a CORE.
Probably CORE group, yeah.
So I really don't know. I don't know what their jam is yet.
I think you'd resonate well with those guys as well. I think you'd love that similar idea.
There's a vibe going on in chiropractic now, and it's a buzz. To me, it's bringing the philosophy back.
Absolutely.
Getting down to what chiropractic is. You know, a lot of people are doing other things, and we're saying, well, we don't need that. We got to get back to the principle.
Right.
And only chiropractors could do what we do.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Which is what we're talking about today. It's an honor to have met you. There's no doubt we're going to be friends for the rest of our lives. I already know that. So thank you very much for sharing this weekend.
All right, so let's talk about Dee Dee. Dee Dee had initiative. Initiative is doing the right thing without being told. It's doing the right thing without being told. We need to do more of that in this profession. And when I read about what he did, you know, he is in the Ryan building, second floor, practicing magnetic healing, and goes from that into coming up with 5 principles about what we do as chiropractic before he ever adjusted Harvey Lillard. Because when I listened to James Chestnut talk, he said that the biggest dagger in the backs of chiropractors was that we're non-scientific. And science is a major leg of our purpose. So these are the 5 basic principles. This is out of Gary Street's books. Basic principle number 1, that all nerves originate in the brain, converging at the base of the skull. And they form the spinal cord. And basic principle number 2, the vitality and activity of every organ, tissue, and cell of the body is maintained and controlled by an inherent force and energy which is transformed or individualized by the brain, and then transmitted to these respective parts in the form of mental impulses throughout the channels provided by the nerves. Has chiropractic changed in its inception? That's exactly what it is we do. Right there, it hasn't changed. Basic principle number 3, when the transmission of mental impulses is normal, both in volume and rapidity, to the delivery of the cell, the body is in a state of homeostasis. It's in a state of health. When we have a loss of frequency or quantity of nerve energy, nerve flow, the body suffers and it forms a state of dis-ease, a loss of communication, loss of coordination. Principle 4 and 5. Chiropractic is defined as being the science of adjusting by hand all the luxations within the spine. Principle number 5. Chiropractic affords an exact and scientific method determining the location of any vertebrae which is out of alignment by use of hand, moving that vertebrae through the spinous and transverse process of the back into alignment. That's what we do as chiropractors. That's what we were founded on. We were founded on science. And it is amazing how brilliant this man was. He looked at health through the eyes of quantum mechanics, quantum physics, before there even was such a thing. He was trying to identify what is the mental impulse, some non-local force, some entity, some vital existence resides within the body, always trying to make it healthy. And that it was the job of a chiropractor to make sure that that energy flowed through the nervous system to every cell and made it as healthy as it possibly could be. And I say that because, man, you know, I talked to a buddy of mine, Mike, who I went to National with a little while ago. There he is right there. Hey, Dr. Mike. And we went to school with a buddy of ours, Dr. Ralph. And I don't want to use his last name, and I'm certainly not here to beat anybody up. But, you know, he's not here. He's at a Yankee game. You know? And, man, guys, D.D. Palmer, he wrote this stuff right here. Look at it. He wrote that book. You know, he didn't go to the Ryan building in a car with a remote control that I have in Syracuse. You double hits the button, the car starts, it's warm, and I drive to work. He's on Nip and Tuck, his 2 pony horses, driving down Brady Street to open up the Ryan building. He has to start a fire in order to warm the office. And he's writing these words. You know, not on a Mac with Word that does spell check. I can't even spell a word correctly for the spell check to identify it, for God's sake. And he's writing this. He's in love with the principle. And we have chiropractors. This room, we should have the grand ballroom over there. This room should be packed. Not for me, but for all these great people who are here to talk about the word of what these guys are doing. He wrote that, and this stuff holds to the testament of time. Science is just now, in the last few years, identifying tone within the sympathetics, afferent and efferent impulses, understanding how the sympathetics lose inhibition as a result of loss of normal mobility or loss of spinal alignment. Upper cervical work, unbelievable what the researchers show. They were right on track. Yeah, they made some mistakes through their interpretation. But as years went on, you'll notice that BJ was happy to make those changes. He was happy to reset, to get a clear understanding of what chiropractic.
Fired up.
And thanks, and we'll put the website on for you guys, and if you want more information, that'd be great. And this is Dr. Joe Borio with Dr. Steve with this week's Thot Flash. You guys have a great week. Get out and serve. May your Nate always flow from above down.
God bless.
Thanks, guys.
Best friend gave me the best advice. He said each day's a gift and not a given right. Leave no stone